In the United States, marijuana is classified as a Schedule I controlled substance, meaning that people found with the drug in their possession face criminal penalties. It has been plagued by decades of illicit connotations, but it actually has a long history of medical uses. Knowledge of its medicinal properties date all the way back to China in 2900 BC, and records of its medical uses have been found all over the world. In 1652, the herbalist Nicholas Culpeper wrote that hemp eases the pain of gout, knots in the joints, and the pains of sinews and hips. Even George Washington, the first president of the United States, took interest in marijuana's medical uses and grew hemp at his Mount Vernon plantation. Beginning in the 20th century, scientists and pharmaceutical companies began to take interest in the drug. Pharmaceutical companies began selling hemp as analgesics, antispasmodic drugs, and sedatives. Then in 1942, marijuana was removed from U.S. pharmacopoeia, halting all medical uses. It wasn't until 1974, when the National Institute on Drug Abuse was established, that research into marijuana was resumed. Since then, science has continued to provide increasing evidence of marijuana's medicinal properties, causing people to favor its legalization. California became the first state to legalize medical marijuana in 1996, setting the precedent for 28 more states to follow suit. Now, proponents of medical marijuana want to see it legalized on the federal level. The Herald editorial board stated that medical marijuana shows considerable promise in reducing chronic pain from a widespread number of causes, including cancer, spinal cord injury and disease, severe spasms, post-traumatic stress disorder, nausea, glaucoma, Parkinson's, and other debilitating ailments. It is illogical and potentially heartless to deny patients with serious health problems a drug that could help mediate pain and discomfort with a few, if any, side effects. However, marijuana proponents face heavy opposition. The FDA has not yet approved the drug, stating that marijuana is listed in Schedule I of the Controlled Substances Act, the most restrictive schedule. The DEA continues to support the placement, and FDA concurred because marijuana met the 3 criteria for placement in Schedule I. Marijuana has a high potential for abuse, has not currently accepted medical use in treatment in the United States, and has a lack of accepted safety for use under medical supervision. Without FDA approval, representatives are hesitant to pursue federal legalization. As a lawmaker, it is not my place to do an end run around the FDA and legalize artisanal drugs that people can grow, make products from, and then sell for Commonwealth citizens to take, stated Matt Baker, a Pennsylvania representative. In 2016, 2 petitions to reschedule marijuana were declined by the DEA, and this year Jeff Sessions ended Obama-era marijuana guidelines, which had barred federal law enforcement from interfering with marijuana sales in states where the drug is legal. Despite these challenges, support for medical marijuana is increasing. Doctors claim that marijuana has been effective in treating patients with numerous types of ailments, and that because the drug treats so many ailments, they are able to prescribe less simultaneous prescriptions to their patients. I learned that marijuana not only has multiple potential medical uses, but it also has fewer side effects compared to other medications, said Pedro Oliveros, a medical director at the Physical Medicine and Rehab Center of Orlando. With medical marijuana, the pharmacological management for chronic pain can be simplified with lesser need to also prescribe medications for anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Currently, the federal government does not recognize the difference between medical and recreational use of marijuana, and because it is a Schedule I substance, people found to be in possession of the drug face the same penalties as those found with heroin and cocaine. It is fundamentally wrong to make preserving one's health or life a crime, yet federal marijuana laws, along with the laws of many states, do just that, said Karen O'Keefe, an attorney and legislative analyst for Marijuana Policy Project. While around 15,000 Americans die every year from overdoses on prescription opiates, there has never been a medically documented fatal overdose on marijuana. Meanwhile, research has shown that cannabis can allow patients to reduce or eliminate their need for opiates. I've always been a supporter of medical marijuana, but in the past month, its legalization has become very important to me. My grandmother will soon go through chemotherapy for the 2nd time, and because of how traumatic her first chemo experience was, she was willing to try anything to make this time better. She decided to try using cannabis to calm her fears and lessen her pain, and it worked. My belief is that cannabis is extremely useful for medicinal purposes, and it is troubling that it's a Schedule I substance. It's not fair for people to get criminal charges for something that is beneficial to their health and is being used responsibly. I believe that the way to change these laws is to be vigilant at educating citizens about marijuana's medical benefits, and for its proponents to reach out to their representatives and ask them to fight for the cause.